On August 2, 2005, an agitated Stacey Castor dialed 911 to report that her husband had barricaded himself in their bedroom following an argument and was unresponsive. She urgently requested police assistance, expressing concerns about his safety. Upon the police's arrival, they forcibly entered the bedroom and discovered Stacey's husband, David, lifeless on the bed. Adjacent to him, they observed a glass containing antifreeze, raising suspicions. A little bit about Stacey. Born on July 24, 1967, in Clay, New York, Stacey Castor's early life remains somewhat shrouded in mystery. The infamy surrounding her subsequent crimes tends to overshadow any academic achievements and benevolent actions she may have undertaken, assuming they indeed occurred. Notably, her mother, Judy Eaton, stands as the sole advocate of her character, offering these insights. Stacey was exceptionally bright, often regarded as the most intelligent student in her class. She harbored dreams of becoming a lawyer or even a judge, with a fervent desire to champion justice for others. Stacey possessed remarkable intellect and had promising college prospects. However, an incident in 1985, marked by the presence of Michael Wallace, completely altered her trajectory. According to Castor, it was an instantaneous, love-at-first-sight connection. "Michael is the love of my life," Stacey would later profess, reflecting on their relationship after his passing. "I knew I was going to marry him within 5 minutes of meeting him." First marriage. On April 7, 1990, Stacey's premonition materialized as she wed Michael Wallace. It appeared that he wasn't overly eager to embrace matrimonial commitments, given the birth of their first daughter, Ashley, in 1988, but their second daughter, Bree, entered the world within wedlock in 1991. Following the birth of their daughters, Stacey secured employment as an ambulance dispatcher, while Wallace pursued a career as a mechanic. Financial constraints perpetually loomed, yet the head of the household remained resistant to seeking higher-paying opportunities, which often ignited disputes within their family. During this period, both parents formed close bonds with specific children. Michael developed a strong connection with Bree, while Stacey favored Ashley. In the mid-1990s, the couple's relationship underwent a tumultuous phase marked by multiple separations, leading them to live apart, each with their chosen child. According to neighborhood gossip, they also became involved with other partners. Towards the end of 1999, Michael's health took an abrupt and concerning turn. He experienced persistent coughing spells and chronic weakness, although he generally shrugged off such issues, often quipping, "If it's a severe illness, my insurance won't cut it, and if it's a minor thing, it's not worth fretting over." Despite advice from his friends to seek professional medical attention, he heeded his wife's assurance that it appeared to be a passing ailment and chose to wait. It wasn't until late December that he finally sought medical help, telling doctors that he felt as though he was intoxicated, even though he hadn't consumed alcohol. Medical examinations revealed nothing critical, and tragically, on January 11, 2000, he passed away suddenly. The medical professionals attributed his death to a heart attack, and although the man's relatives requested an autopsy, Stacey, being his wife, possessed the authority to decline the procedure, stating, "When the doctors informed me that they suspected he died of a heart attack, I had faith in the diagnosis. I had no reason to doubt it," she later remarked. Stacey Castor endured her husband's passing with remarkable composure, while the weight of his loss weighed heavily on Michael's daughters, who would carry a lifelong burden of self-blame, haunted by the memory of witnessing his pain without the ability to alleviate it. In the midst of her stoic grief, Stacey received a $55,000 insurance payout following Michael's demise and proceeded with her life as if nothing had transpired. Second marriage. Approximately a year had elapsed since her husband's death, and Stacey embarked on a quest to find a new life partner. In 2001, she crossed paths with David Castor, the proprietor of an air conditioning installation and maintenance company, and subsequently assumed the role of an office manager within his enterprise. Their romance matured gradually, but Stacey eventually succeeded in capturing his heart, resulting in their marriage in 2003. With the new surname, the couple enjoyed 2 years of relative tranquility, frequently indulging in travel and lavish acquisitions. However, this idyllic period was disrupted by a rift that emerged during the summer of 2005. The exact cause remained shrouded in uncertainty, with rumors of infidelity circulating, although opinions on who had transgressed varied. The ambiguity surrounding their relationship persisted for several months until the fateful afternoon of August 22, 2005, when Stacey, while at work, contacted the police to report her husband's deep despondency. He had locked himself in their bedroom that morning and remained unresponsive, intensifying concerns. "My husband has locked himself in the bedroom and spends half the day there. I'm really worried about him, she confided. A mere half-hour later, the police arrived at their residence. Unable to establish contact with David, the officers took decisive action, forcibly breaching the bedroom door, only to discover him lifeless. Their attention was immediately drawn to a glass containing green liquid and an antifreeze bottle resting on the nightstand next to the bed. It appears to be a straightforward case of suicide by antifreeze poisoning, disclosed Police Sergeant Michael Norton to the press that very day. Suspicions. However, the police began to observe peculiarities in the case. For starters, David's former spouse adamantly insisted that he would never have taken his own life. Moreover, a month prior to his demise, he had amended his will, excluding their mutual child and bequeathing his entire $300,000 fortune to Stacey. Secondly, forensic analysis uncovered the woman's fingerprints on the antifreeze bottle and the base of the glass. Additionally, a cooking thermometer bearing traces of the same antifreeze was found discarded in the trash. These developments heightened law enforcement's concerns, leading them to delve into the woman's past. Upon discovering that her first husband had passed away at the age of 38, suspicions deepened. Police began to speculate that Stacey had potentially administered a toxic concoction of meat and antifreeze to David, and when he grew weak, took further measures to ensure his demise. To explore their suspicions further, the police opted to install surveillance devices within the woman's residence and position cameras aimed at her husband's gravesite, all while she tearfully professed her grief and frequent visits to the resting places. However, in the ensuing months, Stacey conspicuously avoided visiting the graves of her deceased husbands. Moreover, David's ex-wife continued to press the police for justice, intensifying the pressure on the investigation. Eventually, detectives arrived at a decisive course of action. The only means to confirm their suspicions regarding Stacey was to exhume the body of Michael, a step they took in September 2007. As anticipated, the examination revealed that Michael's demise was not attributable to a heart attack but rather to antifreeze poisoning, lending substantial weight to their suspicions about Castor. The scheme. Once Stacey got wind of the exhumation, she realized that the investigative noose was tightening, and the possibility of facing murder charges loomed ever larger. In her desperation, her thoughts turned to her 19-year-old daughter, Ashley. At the time, Ashley was residing in a college dormitory, and although she was aware of the suspicions surrounding her mother, she had steadfastly refused to entertain such beliefs. When Stacey reached out to Ashley in mid-September, extending an invitation to visit, she accepted the offer. Stacey presented herself as a loving mother, referring to Ashley as her best friend, and persistently urging her to partake in a peculiarly flavored drink. Ashley, trusting her mother implicitly, harbored no inkling of suspicion. "I thought, cool, she's treating me like an adult. I mean, what young person wouldn't interpret that as a sign of affection?" Ashley later reminisced. "Especially when my parents had never allowed alcohol before." To enhance the drink's appeal, her mother offered her a straw and suggested she consume it directly through her throat. Ashley managed to down the glass, and that marked the last memory she retained before regaining consciousness in the hospital. In reality, Ashley was incredibly fortunate because her sister, by chance, entered the room the following morning and tried to rouse her. The call to 911, however, was placed by Ashley's mother, who informed the dispatcher that her daughter had attempted suicide. The alarming discovery didn't end there. Beside Ashley, a suicide note lay, one that Bree would later hand over to the authorities. In the note, the author, Wallace, admitted to the murders of her father and stepfather. "No one was ever supposed to know, but now there's no reason to hide the truth. They think you did it, but it was me," the note stated. However, when Ashley regained her faculties and found herself face to face with a detective bearing a stern expression, she emphatically denied any intention to commit suicide and repudiated having written the note. I opened my mouth, and I couldn't believe what they were saying. My mind was spinning, thinking, what on earth are they talking about? Ashley would later recount. Initially, the police harbored skepticism toward the young girl's account, but a meticulous examination of the note yielded critical clues. The glaring anomaly was the use of Stacey's printer, as well as the misspelled word antifree instead of antifreeze, an identical discrepancy to what Stacey consistently emphasized in her interactions with law enforcement. Delving deeper into the inquiry unveiled that the note had been composed on Stacey's computer, and the police successfully recovered the deleted file, a feat achievable even when employing the Shift+Delete function. Intriguingly, the note had been typed while Ashley was asleep in her room, firmly establishing that she couldn't have authored it. Trial and conviction. In October 2007, Stacey was arrested and confronted with charges for the murders of David and Wallace, along with the attempted murder of Ashley. Remarkably, during the trial, Castor's defense attorney shifted blame onto Ashley, alleging that she had fabricated false evidence against her mother. The defense contended that the daughter had nursed deep-seated jealousy for her sister, who her father favored, and thus orchestrated his murder, followed by that of her stepfather. However, Stacey found at least one advocate in her mother, who publicly asserted her daughter's innocence and denounced her granddaughter as a despicable murderer. I didn't kill Michael Wallace. I didn't kill David Castor. I didn't try to kill my daughter, period, Stacey Castor asserted in 2009, just before the verdict was delivered. And I will never say that I did. However, the jury remained unmoved by the proclamations made by Stacey's attorney, and in February 2009, she was sentenced to 51 years in prison, a term that, given her age, could have effectively been seen as a life sentence, as she would have been nearing 100 years old by 2060. Yet, fate took an unexpected turn. In 2016, while incarcerated, she suffered a heart attack, and Stacey Castor passed away without ever confessing to any of her crimes. Ashley, her daughter, remarked on her mother's actions after her death, saying, "She was my best friend, and then she took everything and made me an orphan. I would have done anything for her, but she chose to burden me with her sins and attempted to end my life. You can't fathom how difficult it is for me to discuss this." I hope you liked this story. Please don't forget to leave a comment sharing with your thoughts below. Give a thumbs up this video, and remember to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for more captivating stories. Thank you for joining us on this remarkable journey, and we'll see you in the next video.